Thank you for joining. Write your name in the chat if you want me to shout you out. Shout out to Julie L. Shout out to Messy Jessie. Hello, welcome. You're welcome. Thank you for joining. You're welcome. Hi, welcome. Write your name in the chat if you want me to shout you out. Hello, everyone. Write your name in the chat if you want me to shout you out. Thank you so much for being here. Write your name in the chat if you want me to shout you out. Welcome. Hello. Thank you for joining. Write your name in the chat if you want me to shout you out. Shout out to Hussein. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Liapa or Lapa. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Ellie Josephine. Shout out to Umut. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. Write your name in the chat if you want me to shout you out. Hello, Bug Hunter. Thank you for joining. Thank you for being here. Shout out to Soleil. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Oakland. Write your name in the chat if you want me to shout you out. Shout out to Isla Williams. Shout out to Bobby. Shout out to Jaden. Shout out to Dur Pixon. Shout out to Isla. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Raymond. Shout out to Hazel. Shout out to Joe Gender. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Sadat. Shout out to Soldier Blob. Hello everyone. Write your name in the chat if you want me to shout you out. Good morning from New York. Thank you for joining. Shout out to Charlie. Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining. Write your name in the chat if you want me to shout you out. Shout out to William. Shout out to Aria. Shout out to Julielle. Shout out to Chent. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Dennis. Shout out to Edwin. Yes, Julie L. Thank you for being here. Shout out. Oh, Chente. Thank you for showing me how to pronounce your name. Dennis, I got you. Hello, everyone. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the shout outs. Shout out to Jora. Shout out to Tanya. Shout out to Sadaf. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Lily. Shout out to Claudia. Shout out to Isabara. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Karma. Shout out to Flora. Shout out to Caroline. Shout out to Sophia. Shout out to Lorraine. Shout out to Lucas. Shout out to Ryan. Shout out to Kitu. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Pony. Shout out to Richie. Shout out to Leonard. Shout out to Amos. Thank you. Shout out to Arohi. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Hello, welcome. Write your name in the chat if you want me to shout you out. Shout out to Zaid. Shout out to Ailul. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Camila. Shout out to Kinley. Shout out to, excuse me, Monica. Shout out to Kai. Shout out to Zakai. Shout out to Weston. Shout out to Saihari. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Bargavi. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Muna. Shout out to Mireille. Shout out to Joy. Shout out to Leon. Shout out to Ida. Shout out to Isla. Shout out to Ida, I got you. Shout out to Harper. Shout out to Brett. Oh, I missed it. Julia. Shout out to Lisa. Shout out to Arjun. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Ethan. Shout out to Nyla. Shout out to the chicken. Shout out to Marie. Shout out to Shayanta. Or Shianta. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Donna. Or Dana. Shout out to Brenya. Shout out to Noelle. Shout out to Irma. Shout out to Sitara. Shout out to Courtney. Shout out to Yusuf. Shout out to Lily. Shout out to Mika. Shout out to Patrick. Shout out to Sami or Somi. Shout out to Olivia. Shout out to Macy. Shout out to Asal. Shout out to Willow. Shout out to Ezzy. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Damari. Shout out to Kayla. Shout out to Ella. I'm gonna write Ella again because I kind of messed up. Shout out to Xavier. I'm gonna start on the next page. Shout out to these people. Thank you so much for being here. On to the next page. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the live stream. I do shout outs every day. I also post other content on my channel. I hope you can check it out and support as well. I would truly appreciate it. Thank you so much for being here. I do other content like this. I do tutorials. I hope you can check it out and leave likes or subscribe to my channel, especially with Valentine's Day coming up. I do tutorials like this. I also do birthday tutorials, birthday cards. I hope you can check out my channel. I would truly appreciate it. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Muna, for your support. Shout out to Muna. Shout out to Aubrey. Shout out to Anaya. Whoops. Shout out to Molly. Shout out to Anaya. Shout out to Julia. Shout out to Marwa. Shout out to Karen. Shout out to Bella. Shout out to Everly. Shout out to Cadence. Shout out to Julielle. Shout out to Jace. Shout out to Zane. Shout out to Coda. Shout out to John. Shout out to Alora. Shout out to Kara. Shout out to Zach. Shout out to Aiden. Shout out to Alex. Shout out to Zachary. Shout out to Unique. Shout out to Nyla. Shout out to Iris. Shout out to Addison. Shout out to Aiden. Shout out to Zane. Write your name in the chat if you want me to shout you out. Shout out to Journey. Shout out to Scarlett. Shout out to Junior. Shout out to Viviana. Shout out to Selena. Shout out to Casey. Shout out to Chloe. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to April. Shout out to Caesar. Shout out to oh, I already put April. Raheem. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Ariella. Shout out to Jesselyn. Shout out to Jose. Shout out to Cassie. Shout out to Jenny. Shout out to, is it Neil? Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Chloe. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Shosho. Shout out to Bellany. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Brandon. Shout out to McKinley. Shout out to Melanie. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. Shout out to Eliza. Shout out to Sabito. Shout out to Nisa. Thank you, Chloe. Shout out to Chanel. Shout out to Addie. Shout out to Eliza. Oh, Eliza already got you. Shout out to Taylor. Shout out to Kayla. Shout out to Carlos. Shout out to Julene. Shout out to Kenya or Kanaya. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Necrosis. Thank you so much. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Necrosis. Thank you for your support. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Ellie. Shout out to Mahir. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Ellie. Oh, I just put Ellie. Whoops. Shout out to Weston. Shout out to Hope the Cope. Shout out to CB. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Nene. Shout out to Mirel. Shout out to Tencel. Shout out to Macy. I'm gonna write Macy again because I kind of messed up a little bit. Shout out to Milani. Shout out to Nathan. Shout out to Sarah. Shout out to Labib. Shout out to Raka. Shout out to Macy. Shout out to Merv. Shout out to Niels. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Skittle. Shout out to Elena. Shout out to David. Shout out to Logan. Shout out to Ellie. Shout out to Donna. Or Dana. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Mikey. Shout out to Nora. Shout out to these people. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. On to the next page. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome. Write your name in the chat if you want me to shout you out. I live stream every day. Normally I live stream like hours later, but I thought I'd live stream earlier this time. Also check out my channel if you're interested. I post YouTube shorts. I do tutorials like these. I hope you can check them out. I also do, especially with Valentine's Day coming up, I do tutorials like these. And I also do tutorials like these as well. I hope you can check out my channel, or please like and subscribe if you enjoy the live streams and if you could check out my channel, I would truly appreciate it. Shout out to Julie L. Shout out to Ezra. Shout out to Winter. Shout out to Laureen. Shout out to Finley. Shout out to Jalebi. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Samantha. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to Holly. Shout out to Doga. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Rosie. Shout out to Mandy. Shout out to Amelia. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Nani. Shout out to Carlos. Shout out to Nani. Shout out to Cool Shaya. Shout out to Merv. Shout out to Isla. Shout out to Kansu. Shout out to Delilah. Shout out to Sonam. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Austin. Shout out to... I sound like Cat from from Sam and Cat. That's so funny. Shout out to Amelia. Shout out to Victoria. Shout out to Kanzu, I got you. Shout out to Luke's Princess. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Luke's Princess. Thank you for your support. Shout out to Amara. Shout out to Delilah. Shout out to Kanzu. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Lexi. Shout out to Rijan. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Dessa. Shout out to Yaretsi. Shout out to Nyla. Shout out to Everly. Shout out to Manuka. Shout out to Snoop. Shout out to Sophia. Shout out to Kanzu, I got you. Thank you, Julielle. Shout out to Julielle. Shout out to Leah. Thank you for subscribing, Cool Shaya. Shout out to Raylene. Shout out to Huzaifa. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Matilda. Shout out to Dayanara. Shout out to Alexa. Shout out to Dahlia. Shout out to Callie or Kali. Shout out to Jordan. Shout out to Julia. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Elena. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Paisley. Shout out to Davina. Shout out to Peppermint Crafting. Shout out to Valerie. Shout out to Steven. Shout out to Piper. Shout out to Jordan. Shout out to Blaine. Shout out to Logan. Shout out to Antonia. Shout out to Spike. Shout out to Trinity. Shout out to Vince. Shout out to Eleanor. Shout out to I don't know how to pronounce, but Falak. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Helen. Shout out to Shoji. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Riker. Shout out to Daryl. Shout out to Delilah. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Lottie. Shout out to Natalie. Shout out to Maureen. Shout out to Emily. Shout out to Kim. Shout out to Humira. Or Humira, sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Isaiah. Shout out to Luca. Shout out to Ileana, or Aliana, sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Conco. Shout out to Kinsley. Shout out to Sadie. Shout out to Madhuri. Thank you for stopping by. Shout out to Leona. Shout out to Amina. Shout out to Jaden. Shout out to Millie. Shout out to Violet. Shout out to Darika. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Gabriel. Shout out to Tesma. Shout out to Delilah. Shout out to Ember. Shout out to IN. Shout out to these people. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the live stream. On to the next page. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the live stream. I also post other content. I hope you can check it out and support my channel. I would truly appreciate it. Thank you so much for being here. I post other content like this on YouTube Shorts. I do tutorials for birthday cards, different things like this. And like this, I do tutorials. I hope you can check it out, especially with birthdays coming up or any friends or family members that will have a birthday. I do cute little cards that I hope you can check out. I also do, with Valentine's Day coming up, I also do Valentine cards for friends, family members, or anyone you love. I do that as well. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Kenny V. Thank you so much. Thank you for your support. Shout out to Kenny. Shout out to Revo. Shout out to Alicia or Alicia. Thank you for everyone for writing your name. Shout out to Millie. Thank you for your support. Shout out to shout out to Amelia. Shout out to Francesca. Shout out to Maggie. Shout out to Ingrid. Shout out to Roro. Shout out to Victoria. Shout out to Dakota. Shout out to Leona. Shout out to Skylar. Shout out to Majid. Shout out to Keshawn, sorry. Shout out to Cal. Shout out to Roji, sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Caleb. Shout out to Tama. Shout out to CR. CR. I'm so sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Caleb. Shout out to Julie L. Shout out to Ashton. Shout out to Tuesday. Shout out to Kiki. Shout out to Hala. Shout out to Harper. Shout out to Landon. Shout out to Angul. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Deontay. Shout out to Renee. Shout out to Amelia. Thank you so much. Shout out to Nur Camaraya. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Bella. Shout out to Rama. Shout out to Dat Kenzie, thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Mackenzie. Shout out to Mamoon. Shout out to Yulshin. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to 5 Star. Shout out to NASA. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Fioravante. Fiora, I'm so sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Angel. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Yana. Shout out to... Thank you, Vash. Have a great day as well. Shout out to Gohan. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Karsten. Shout out to Kendall. Shout out to Gohan. Shout out, thank you, Amelia. Shout out to Hassan. Shout out to Eleni. Shout out to Dean. Shout out to Hasa. Shout out to Saruchi. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to Maddie. Shout out to Bong Chan. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Michelle. Shout out to Kashan. Shout out to Chan. Shout out to Zijada. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Kim. Shout out to Emmanuel. Shout out to Mark. Shout out to Daphne. Shout out to Salima. Shout out to Hugh. Shout out to Rico. Shout out to Erson. Shout out to Max. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to, is it Michael? Shout out to Murin. Bye, Julielle. Thank you for stopping by. Shout out to Leona. Shout out to Bree. My face is on my channel if you check out my channel. Shout out to Cool Shaya. Shout out to Sandralis. Shout out to Alice. Shout out to Martha Rosales. Thank you so much. Shout out to Martha Rosales. Thank you for your support. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Max. Shout out to Liam. Shout out to Naomi. Shout out to Liam. Oh, I just put Liam. Shout out to Tommaso. Shout out to Penguin. Shout out to Ranos. Shout out to Jack. Shout out to Milano. Shout out to Garston. Shout out to Honesty. Shout out to Ruby. Shout out to Lana. Shout out to Leela. Shout out to these people. Please leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you for being here. On to the next page. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Write your name in the chat if you want me to shout you out. Shout out to Anthony. Shout out to Bob. Shout out to Giselle. Shout out to Ref. Shout out to Catalina. Shout out to Dandy. Shout out to Max. Shout out to Logan. Shout out to Viva, sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Austin, thank you for stopping by. Shout out to Atif. Shout out to Hope. Shout out to James. Shout out to Alina. Shout out to Mused. Shout out to Anthony. Shout out to Maya. Shout out to Lana. Shout out to Mocha Ella. Shout out to Alicia or Alicia, sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Maya. Shout out to Bibo. Shout out to Grace. Shout out to Helen. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. Shout out to Mike. Shout out to Jude. Shout out to Makai. Shout out to Lexa. Shout out to Ellie. Shout out to Lily. Shout out to Lynn. Shout out to Gaia. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Zoe. Shout out to Max. Shout out to Blair. Shout out to Eli. Shout out to Kai. Shout out to Elizabeth. Shout out to Roberto. Shout out to Olivia. Shout out to Weblecker. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Bruno. Shout out to Adam. Shout out to Josephine. Shout out to Zoya. Shout out to Eliu. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Miriam. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to Maria. Shout out to Reza. Shout out to Shrimpo. Shout out to McKenna. Shout out to Esther. Shout out to Guru. Shout out to Channing. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Lily. Shout out to Jace. Shout out to Kara. Shout out to Oliver. Shout out to Caitlin. Shout out to Bobette. Shout out to Ellie W. Shout out to October. Shout out to Lillian. Shout out to Luke. Shout out to John. Shout out to Emery. Shout out to Sumaya. Shout out to Shireen. Shout out to Levi. Shout out to Emma. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Damla. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Arisa or Arissa. Shout out to Toodles. Shout out to Bob. Shout out to Lemon. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Pavni. Shout out to Bella. Shout out to Aline. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Iris. Shout out to King of Dragons XTV. Shout out to Grace. Shout out to Jackson. Shout out to Dial. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Delilah. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to Soleil. Shout out to Princess. Shout out to King of Dragons XTV. Thank you so much for your support. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Alicia. Shout out to Serenity. Shout out to Mohammed. Shout out to Julia. Shout out to Terrence. Whoops, I spelled Terrence wrong. There we go. And shout out to Carrie or Kyrie. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Tamia. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. Shout out to Terrence Voorhees. Thank you so much for your support. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Felice. Shout out to these people. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. I live stream every day. I also do cute tutorials like these. I hope you can check them out. Please check out my channel. I'm NessDIYcorner. I hope you can check it out, leave likes, or like and subscribe, or share. I would truly appreciate it. Thank you so much for being here. I will see you all next time. Have a great day. Take care. Bye.